Good afternoon. My name is Ray.
I'm Bosco.
I'm Carmen.
I'm Henry, and we are
Luminous.
To start with, let's talk about the financial goals of Client Linda. The financial goals are the decision making of the furniture business, education planning of two sons, monthly expense of Mother Eva, investment planning and insurance coverage, and at last, retirement preparation. Now we are going to discuss the current situation of Victor's company. We have analyzed the financial ratios and financial performance based on the financial statements of Victor's company. And we can conclude that both gross profit and liquidity are decreasing, while the debt is increasing. Also, there is a negative sign on debt assets. Thus, Victor's company is now having unpleasant financial performance. Another issue is the loan from microfinance operator. The loan amount is $1.5 million, while the interest rate is 50% per annum. Therefore, we suggest Victor to repay all the debt now, since there is high interest if only monthly installment payment is paid. Besides, examining from financial perspective and other external factors such as source of clients, raising competitors, and high travel expense from Victor, we suggest Victor to wind up the company and find a new job with stable income. Victor is strongly recommended to be salesperson and pursue continuous education so that he is able to contribute to the family. Up next is Bosco, who will discuss two sons' education fee and Mother Eva's living expense. Take it away, Bosco.
Thank you, Ren. Now for another issue, the two sons' education fee. So we have discovered that Linda has not planned for it. In terms of Edward, the education fee will be spent in the coming 4 years. So we suggest that Linda to reserve around $3,600,000 cash from her saving rather than setting up an education fund. Furthermore, an emergency fund should be set aside in the case of the emergency issue of her son Michael in the UK. Since Michael pays a tuition fee by his own scholarship, we should reserve only based on his living expenses. So we assume that Michael to use 15,000 Hong Kong dollars emergency funds per month. So Linda is recommended to reserve only $90,000 of 6 months emergency fund for Michael. So our next consideration is the monthly living expense of Eva. Currently, Eva is now 17 years old and she is receiving $5,000 as the monthly living expense from her daughter Linda. So we have prepared two alternatives to support her monthly living expense. So for the first suggestion, we suggest that Linda to spend about 1 million Hong Kong dollars to buy the public annuity plan for her mom Eva. By doing so, around $5,800 can be generated as the monthly income for Eva, and the total income can be generated is around 1.19 million Hong Kong dollars when Eva is 87 years old. For the second suggestion, we suggest Eva to join the reserve mortgage by utilizing her property valued at 4 million Hong Kong dollars from the Hong Kong Mortgage Corporation Limited. By doing so, Eva is granted a monthly income of $13,000 per month. When Eva is passed away, a total amount of about 6 million Hong Kong dollars can be also given to Linda as well. After comparing two suggestions, we propose suggestion 2 to Linda because there is a higher monthly return can be generated. So meanwhile, through joining the reverse mortgage scheme, Linda is able to reserve the original 5,000 Hong Kong dollars for Eva's per month as well. So now back to Henry for the review on the insurance coverage and the investment planning.
Thank you, Bosco. For the insurance coverage, we have divided it into two parts for analysis. The first part is the coverage of needs, which include the education expense and family expense. The second part is the currently owned protection and assets. We calculate the total coverage need for Linda by summing up the NPV of Edward's education expense and the NPV of the family expense, which is equal to $4.82 million. Currently, Linda only owns a $3 million policy amount of term life insurance with a duration of 15 years. Therefore, Linda still needs an extra life insurance of around $1.82 million. We suggest Linda to buy an extra life insurance with dividend, with a policy amount of $3 million and monthly premium of $2,000. It can provide extra coverage of life insurance that Linda needs. In addition, it can insure her until she passes away, compared with term life insurance. As a result, the new total coverage will be $6 million, and it can guarantee that her family will have sufficient coverage once she accidentally passes away before she is 65 years old. For the retirement planning of Linda, we assume she pays all the family expenses since Victor's business is suffering losses, and it takes time for him to seek for a new job. The remaining deposit after deducting all the required expenses is $7.14 million, which can be used to prepare for her retirement reserve. Assuming Linda is 50 years old now and her life expectancy is 87 years old, while the inflation rate is 3%, the monthly expenses for retirement should be equal to or less than $49,500. If Linda wants to retire at 55 years old, she will have to prepare for around $31 million, calculated by her annual expense with an inflation rate of 3%. However, her total MPF amount at age 55 is only $2 million. If Linda invests her remaining bank deposit for retirement purpose, the minimum required return after deducting the MPF has to be 35.53%, which is too high for bearing such related risks at her age. Therefore, it's impossible for Linda to retire at age 55. And Carmen will discuss the investment planning issue further.
Thank you, Henry. In comparison, if Linda retires at 65 years old, we assume she will receive $4,000 family subsidy from Michael and Edward. After reducing her personal expense and family expense, the new total annual net expense would be $516,000. Then, she should prepare $16 million for her retirement reserve. We assume the annual return of MPF will be 4.8%, which is the annualized internal rate of return since 2000. The projected MPF accrued benefits as at age 65 will be around $4 million. Hence, the minimum return of the portfolio for her retirement after reducing the MPF amount would be 6.35%. Linda is suggested to invest the remaining bank deposit into mutual funds. A more conservative rate should be chosen, which is lower than her risk tolerance level relating to her age for securing her retirement. For the retirement investment portfolio, two mutual funds are included. The first one is the JP Morgan Fund, which involves mainly global equities and high-yield bonds. The second one is the ABSICAV1, Low Volatility Funds, which involves companies in information technology and financials. The performance of both funds are higher than the sector average, with standard deviation lying between around 5% to 7%. The portfolio is composed of 70% on JP Morgan Fund and 30% on the Low Volatility Fund. As Linda's risk tolerance level is inversely related to her age, minimizing the risk of the portfolio should be prioritized before maximizing the gain when achieving the goal. The value of the proposed portfolio is around $70 billion, which is $5 million more than the amount needed. Then, Linda can even retire without the MPF. The new total expense is around $90,000 after accepting our financial advisors. We suggest Linda to spend the remaining $3,000 left per month to the portfolio with another 3 mutual funds. The expected return of the portfolio can be equal to or slightly higher than her risk tolerance level, between 9% to 30%, because it is additional to her retirement fund. The first one is the Vitality American Fund, which involves companies in information technology and consumer discretionary. The second one is the Barings Europe Fund, which involves companies in business providers and financials. The third one is the handset technology funds, which involve companies in technology sectors throughout the world. The portfolio is composed of 40% on Vitality Fund and Baring funds respectively, with the remaining amount in the handset fund. Linda should still adopt the lower risk portfolio because she is a medium risk taker. Hence, the value of the portfolio at the age of 65 would be around $22 billion. And I will pass it off to Rain to discuss the estate planning issue.
Thanks a lot, Cameron. After evaluating the retirement planning of Linda, it is optically predicted that Linda will have remaining assets for her estate planning. We advise Linda to fully utilize her assets by setting up funds for supporting the performing arts and also material science, as well as donating to non-governmental organizations. Furthermore, a certain proportion can be given to her two sons equally. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.